Don't all stand up at once. No, you can laugh at that. That's funny. Hey, how we doing this morning? I know it's 8 o'clock and you ain't had but 3 cups of coffee. How we doing this morning? Yeah, it ain't enough people in here to start a bad rumor. Look, this is how it goes. I am Stephen West. I am your host and MC for this here pitch tank. Give it up for being early this morning at the pitch tank. You know, you're clapping for yourself. Clap, my Freedomfesters. Has it been awesome for you so far? Absolutely. Well, thank you for being here. So if it seems like I'm talking really fast, it's because I'm alive and we've got a really tight agenda. If it seems like Smokey and the Bandit, we got a long way to go and a short time to get there. If you're too young to get that reference, ask somebody else. But we got to immediately start getting going. So just so you know, if you're not familiar with the format, the pitch tank's a lot like Shark Tank. We had hundreds and hundreds of applicants. Yesterday, 22 different companies got 5 minutes to pitch their idea, and a preliminary panel picked 5, and those 5 will get 5 minutes each to pitch in front of our pitch tank sharks today. So without any further ado, you didn't come to hear me, even though I like me. Maybe you didn't come to hear me. I am going to introduce our preliminary judges who spent their time yesterday all day listening to pitches and deciding who the 5 would entertain you with their deal today. So if you don't mind, let me grab a piece of paper here and start welcoming to the stage our 4 preliminary judges. So first coming to the stage is founder of Market Domination LLC. He's a direct response marketing expert. We like to call that guru. He is the co-host of the Sharkpreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington, the Kevin Harrington. Give it up for Seth Green, everybody. Next coming to the stage is a business coach, a business consultant, a strategist. He's worked with hundreds and hundreds of startups and expanded companies to help them grow larger and grow faster. Give it up for Paul Hoyt, everybody. See you. Next coming to the stage is an international business coach with 45 years of experience as a business owner. He's an author and he's the creator of the Coaching for Divine Purpose. With 50 coaches certified worldwide, give it up for Bill Heinrich. And last but certainly not least, and my favorite intro of all, Thad Zilka, an angel investor extraordinaire. Give it up for him right there, everybody. So no, the moment you've been waiting for, I now get to introduce our illustrious shark panel, our pitch tank sharks. So coming to the stage now is a successful entrepreneur over the last 40 years. He's an original shark on the ABC hit Emmy-winning TV show Shark Tank. He is the inventor of the infomercial, as seen on TV pioneer, and co-founder of the Electronic Retailers Association and co-founder of the Entrepreneurs Organization. Kevin has extensive experience in business all over the world, opening distribution outlets in over 100 countries worldwide. Give it up for my man, Kevin Harrington! Good to see you. Thank you. Next coming to the stage, he has a new book out called Reviving America, How Repealing Obamacare, Replacing the Tax Code, and Reforming the Fed Will Restore Hope and Prosperity. I want to go get that book right now. Steve writes editorials for each issue of Forbes, kind of gave away who it is, under the heading of Fact and Comment, and a widely respected economic prognosticator. He is the only writer to have won the highly prestigious Crystal Owl Award 4 times. The prize was formerly given by U.S. corporation to the financial journalist whose economic forecast for the coming year proved most accurate. Give it up for my man, Steve Forbes! Thank you. The next man coming to the stage will be shocked to know he is a dear personal friend of mine. I'm the only one who knows that. He is the president and CEO of Star Branding Equity Holdings, a critically acclaimed licensing and brand management consumer-focused partnership between Tommy and Andy Hilfiger, Joe LaMastra, and Mr. Ullman. He has served as the founding president and CEO of Mesh, a partnership with Li and Fung, as well as president and CEO of Shop Your Way Brands, a division of Sears Holding Corp. He has been corporate vice president of Donna Karan International, president of FUBU International, managing director of Coogee, president of Fat Fashions, and president of new business development for Kelwood, and he's a vending machine, how to never sleep. Give it up for my man, Bert Ullman. The next shark coming to the stage is a creative, critical thinker with passion, determination, and the ability to provide solutions to critical problems, empowering entrepreneurs and business owners around the world to create massive success. Michael is a global expert and speaker on entrepreneurship and a guest speaker on Entrepreneur TV with past appearances on ABC, NBC, and Fox. And as an investment banker, fund manager, rainmaker, institutional advisor, coach, speaker, author, mentor, and attorney, he teaches and advises on how to go from an idea on a napkin to a stock exchange listing and all the steps in between. Michael developed a business mastery system to help entrepreneurs develop a master plan, find capital around the world, shape client acquisitions and relationships, and develop and deliver a dynamic presentation that will move clients to action. Welcome to the stage, Michael Fugler! Michael. Yes, sir. Last and certainly not least, help me welcome to the stage a C-level executive with over 34 years experience in corporate finance, capital formation, executive level management, mergers, acquisitions, software development, and sales and marketing. His claim to fame was he bought the firm that he worked at, the investment banking firm, at the age of 21 and became the youngest owner of a full-service investment bank in the history of the United States. In an effort to perpetuate free enterprise and capitalism, he launched Angel Investors Network, the folks that have proudly brought you the pitch tank today. Check them out at angelnetwork.com, with the mission to help entrepreneurs succeed, one of the first online angel groups ever organized. As a serial entrepreneur himself, he is currently the CEO of Angel Investors Network, Angel Marketing, Inspirations by God, BizPad, and the president of Celebrity Lifestyle Brands. Help me welcome to the stage the man who makes this happen, Greg Ryder, everybody!
That's what I'm talking about.
Photo op, talk amongst yourselves. Because I'm getting in the photo, that's why.
I mean, we're making history, people. Creating jobs.
You'll be able to tell your grandkids one day I was there. I'm not sure how much I'd had to drink, but I was there. It's Vegas. What happens in Vegas makes it on Facebook Live, right? So much for staying in Vegas. So without any further ado, we need to get this show on the road. I am going to bring to the stage our first of 5 presenters. Coming up now is Reed Schweizer. He is Vice President of Asset Quest. He has worked with real estate investors for over 20 years, and he's featured in Rich Dad's success stories for his own investment portfolio. Give it up for Reed Schweizer!
Hi, I'm Reed Schweizer with Asset Quest, Fort Myers, Florida. I'm here to talk with you today about partnering with us on the buying and selling of improved building lots in Southwest Florida. And they never gave me the clicker for. So I'm here to talk to you today about the buying and selling of improved building lots in Southwest Florida. First of all, when I say partner with us, here's what I mean. We're not here looking for advertising, marketing, or technology money. We've already raised that money to the tune of over $1 million. I'm talking about a partnership where you would own the assets 100%. Essentially, you would create a business within our business with the buying and selling of improved building lots at a profit. We work in one of the hottest markets in the country right now. We have a 10-year proven track record with over 15,000 transactions to our credit. It's very simple, it's low risk, and it's high return. Now, our primary market is Southwest Florida. Southwest Florida is essentially from the Tampa area down through the Naples area. It's a top place to retire, there's a low cost of living, and we have huge population growth right now. It's a top vacation spot. We have a lot of retirees moving to our area right now, which is also fueling a lot of job growth because of the ancillary jobs that these retirees throw off. Now let's talk about the assets themselves, the improved building lots. In most parts of the country, if a builder wants to come to town and build a couple hundred houses, what does that builder have to do? He's got to go out and buy 40, 50, 80, 100 acres worth of land and then develop it. He's got to put in roads, water and sewer, electricity, all the infrastructure. One of the great things about Southwest Florida is that's already done for you. In the 50s, 60s, and 70s, major developers came to town and they put in the roads, the infrastructure, the water, the sewer. So that's already done. And why is this important? Because what they did, their marketing strategy was they sold these tens of thousands of lots to tens of thousands of individual people. They did this through infomercials, they did this through direct marketing, television ads. Heck, they flew people to town and sold them lots. And that was all great. They made a lot of money. They sold off all their inventory. But that creates a particular problem for the builders of today. You see, in an average city block, you could have 50 different lots and you could have 50 different owners. And today's builders don't have the data, they don't have the technology, they don't have the ability to reach out to these people to purchase their lots so they can cluster them together. That's the problem. Our technology is a solution. It's our competitive advantage. We've developed a proprietary land tracking software. And with this software, we have the name, address, phone number, and email address to all these tens of thousands of lot owners. So we're able to reach out to these people and buy land for our customers exactly where they want it. Why is this important? They can then cluster these lots together. You see, we have builders, and builders walk into my office every day, and they'll look at a map, and they'll draw a circle on the map, and they'll say to me, Reed, I'll buy every building lot I can get inside of that circle, and I'll pay $10,000 for it. So it becomes my job and my team's job to go into that circle, buy as many lots as we can, as far below $10,000 as we can get it, creating margin, creating spread. We have established national accounts. We work with builders, REITs, hedge funds, individual investors, investor groups. We work with builders such as D.R. Horton, Wade Journey Homes, Miranda Homes, LGI Homes, as well as a whole host of small local builders and investors. We feature high-speed turns. Typically, you can be in and out of a land transaction in under 60 days. Now, we call this managing your business inside of our business. And what I mean by that is you would open up an LLC that we would manage, and we would trade this land in and out on your behalf. We're currently managing about $3 million of similar types of projects. We're looking for $2 million in additional money to meet the increased demand that we have right now due to our population explosion. We're willing to do this in increments of $200,000 up to $2 million with an annual fixed ROI to you of between 15 and 25%. Now this is a team you'd be working with. Daniel Barris, he's the captain of the ship. Myself, Reed Schweizer, I'm the VP. I'm essentially the liaison between the builders, the investor groups. Nanette Todd, she's the CFO. She's the one who's going to make sure you get paid on time and the amount of money you expect to have coming. And Mike Slater, he's the CTO. He's the guy who takes these massive amounts of data and puts it in a usable form for us. So at the end of the day, in summary, if you're looking to plug in to a business opportunity, to a partnership that's already working, it's already throwing off massive profits. If you're looking for something that's simple, low risk, and high return, we're a company that has a lot of projects going. This is just one of many. We only have $2 million in partnerships that are available. If you're interested, come talk to us. Let's be partners. Thank you.
Asset Quest.
Thank you, sir.
So this is a very interesting format. We have time now for our sharks. You've ever heard of Q&A? This is just Q. They got to sit here and take it like a mule in a hailstorm. They get to ask questions that he is dying to answer but can't. So let's watch it happen. Starting with Kevin.
Thank you, Reed. Appreciate that. I do like the fact that the investor owns the underlying asset, which is sort of a security for that investment. I like that. One comment I would make, if I were investing in this portfolio, I would love to see, I think you said you have $3 million or so under management already. I'd love to see some sort of before and afters of what you've done in a neighborhood and where you started with this value and increased it to this value. So that would be important for me to understand the track record of your group.
Thank you. Steve?
Are most of these lots that you talked about, tens of thousands sold back in the giddy days of 30 plus 40 years ago, most of them vacant now? What's the state of these things? How complicated
Depends
is it?
on the neighborhood.
Statements, not questions. They can be rhetorical questions, Mr. Forbes. But that's a question
Can't get
left for
mad at
all of
him.
us to ponder or come and see him later. It's just how it goes. Smokey and the Bandit. You got a comment that, or he can maybe hit you with that question later?
Yeah, it's interesting, but I
Okay.
Come see me. I'd love to talk to you.
There you go. Mr. Ullman.
Yeah, so I like the model a lot. It appears that you're providing an aggregation model, and you have a proven model because you're in business. But similar to the questions that have been brought up, I would like to see kind of your track record, have that evidenced a little more. But
Absolutely.
But shy of that, congratulations.
Thank you.
Michael.
So I think from the standpoint of presentation and delivery and clarity, I thought you did a good job. You have a nice stage presence. I think on the market opportunity in general, I felt it. What I didn't quite feel and what I'd like to see more of is appreciating and understanding the market demand. These people that you have a partnership with, it's like what other opportunities do they have? How bad do they really need you? Where is the demand? Now, the solution, the partnership description was great. I understand that, really clearly. I like the description. You look like you have a team with good experience, and overall, I see the plan. Just a little bit more depth in that demand.
Mr. Ryder.
I think it's super interesting, and one of the things, again, that I've almost coaching entrepreneurs and talking to them is when you talk about management, I want to hear some accomplishments in management. And it's like, if you're going to talk about 4 people, especially when you got a short pitch, we need to know, because we weigh the team heavily on every investment we do, so it's really about the team. And the other thing, you're kind of a technology play in that you have some technology in this database, and is there any barrier of entry to that? Is there any protection on that? Because again, as a guy that likes the technology sector as opposed to the real estate sector, that might lean me towards wanting to hear more information if I saw there was some intellectual property that was protected.
Thank you. One more time for Asset Quest. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, we got to keep the train headed down the track. Make sure your seat belts are securely fastened, your tray tables and seat backs in their upright and locked position. We just got to roll. So, next coming to the stage, help welcome with me, Will Lorenzi, President of Smart Planet Technologies. He has some surprising information to share with you. Give it up for Will Lorenzi!
Good morning, I'm Will Lorenzi of Smart Planet Technologies, and I'm going to let you in on a dirty secret. If I have the clicker. Sorry that. Many of us in the morning, we get up and head over to the local coffee shop, get ourselves a cup of coffee. They serve it to us in a paper cup. And when we're done with our coffee, we've got a choice to make. Do we throw it in the recycle side of the bin, or do we throw it in the landfill side of the bin? And here's where the dirty secret comes in. Because if you look closely in the fine print, you'll see it says, no paper cups or lids. And that doesn't make any sense. Paper cups are made of paper. It should be recyclable. But the challenge is that paper cups are not just made of paper, they're also made of plastic. The plastic is on the inside to make sure that you hold the coffee. And so with that, it's a mixed material, and therefore it's very difficult for recyclers to process. So unfortunately, we wind up with 15 billion paper cups per year in the U.S., winding up sorted out in the landfill. And that's even if you put it on the recycle side of the bin, they're going to sort it and put it into the landfill. It's enough flattened paper cups to fill the entire Dallas Cowboys football stadium to the roof every year. So what we've done is we've come up with a coating that is fully recyclable in the paper recycling system, and that's called earth coating. And what we've done is we've added calcium carbonate into the mix, and it makes a coating that basically is fully repulpable and recyclable, and that's certified by the governing body How to Recycle. And that allows us to create the recup. this is the world's first and only commercially available recyclable paper cup. The paper cup looks the same, it works the same, it costs the same, it's manufactured with the exact same equipment. The only difference is we've changed the pellets that go into the machine to provide the coating, and out comes a paper cup that is valuable for recyclers to recycle, and it becomes a new revenue stream for them to recycle these materials. So it's in use today. There's a number of coffee shops that are using it right now, and also Orange Coast College the students on the campus are collecting the cups and recycling them to fund a new scholarship. So you can imagine, instead of these materials being thrown away as waste, now it's actually being used to pay for education. Costa Coffee is trying the Recup, and so for many of us in the U.S., who's Costa Coffee? But they're actually the largest coffee house chain in the UK, more than twice the size of Starbucks. We have a few select licensees. Clearwater Paper is the third largest paper mill for paperboard that's used in paper cups in the U.S. Secondly, Detpack is the largest independent manufacturer of paper cups and disposable packaging in Australia, New Zealand, and South Africa. And lastly, Fresh Brew is a specialty roaster that provides the coffee for American Airlines, and American Airlines is interested in switching over the cups throughout the cabin globally. But it's not just paper cups. It's also French fry trays, sandwich wraps, ice cream cups, takeout trays. All these materials are coated with plastic, extremely difficult for recyclers to process. We have our domestic and international patents issued, so this opportunity spreads itself for a global reach to solve it globally. And lastly, Smart Planet Technologies, we're an engineering and intellectual property company, a pure IP play. So our revenue model is licensing with packaging companies and paper mills. We derive license fees and a recurring royalty revenue, and the result is a low overhead and burn rate with enormous profit potential. So we don't have the risk factors of manufacturing, a sales force, or costs of keeping an inventory, and also we cooperate with the industry rather than compete so that the entire industry can participate in it to solve a global problem. And lastly, because of that global reach, there's many pathways to a 10x return for today's equity investor. So what we're looking for is $250,000 up to $500,000 through sales shares through a private placement memorandum. It's $10,000 at a minimum to participate. And we're also refinancing our debt. It's $1.1 million. It's held by board members and family members. The debt is senior secured, so it's well protected, and there's warrant coverage, which gives you an upside in participating in all the company's upside. And lastly, when you're in that coffee shop in the future, they're going to serve you coffee one day, and you're going to get it in a cup that has the recyclable logo on it, and you're going to know you saw it first here at Pitch Tank.
Very good. One more time for Smart Planet Technologies. Now you get to endure the Q with no A.
You want me to start? I'll start.
Yeah, start with
So
Greg.
I love this thing. I love the idea that we're doing something for the planet and working stuff out. I like the fact that you did come back to the patent. You showed some protection. I didn't really see a financial size of the market. Like, what does it equate to from the licensing perspective? I mean, you say we can maybe have a 10x return on our numbers, but I'd like to know some numbers and specifics on the actual size of the market. And then really, I really did like how you addressed right up front with visuals this problem that we didn't know existed, and I like the dirty secret. So that's a really good hook to get us listening, and it's a good thing to get things going. So I really like that.
On the revenue model, when you begin to talk about the licensing opportunities, I would like to have seen leading into that or leading out of it the demand in any communication that you've had with prospective people. What do they think about it? How bad are they interested in that? Are any of them developing anything? So just more about who is going to cut the checks and do the contract with you would have been helpful. And then on the last slide on the structure, I would like to have seen possibly a little more creative description rather than hold out that the board and family members are looking to bail out of their funding. I think it's often scary for investors to see the people that have come together to create the opportunity the minute new money comes in wanting to leave. So I think it could have been structured differently.
So, quite a few years ago, I took over the operations of a company called Fat Fashions. It was Russell Simmons, Fat Farm, and Kimora Lee Simmons, Baby Fat, and they were losing a couple of $1 million. We converted that business to a licensing model, and overnight, we drove royalty streams between $45 and $50 million annually. So I am a huge believer in the licensing model. Love that. I think that that's very powerful. It comes with guaranteed revenue streams. Also like the fact that you're actually creating a brand. I think that's clever as well. Big believer in brands and brand building. I think that will come back to you. Additionally, you highlighted same costs. I always find people would love to do good, but if it costs more, not so much. So I think that's also an important point. What I'm not sure of, you're saying it's a patented technology, but there are many ways to get patents. I'm not certain that what are the barriers to entry? I would have loved to understand that better to see what's the competition like? Are people going to come in? Are big guys kind of swooping in? And then lastly, I do not necessarily have a great understanding of where you are in the process. I would have liked to understand better the results to date. But congratulations.
Yeah, I just echo what Bernd said in terms of I love the licensing model. That's a perfect thing. Let others do the work, you collect the fees. But also, too, what are the barriers from others, reverse engineering, if this is as good as you think it is, to coming in with various ways, and how do you defend the thing if it turns out to work? Everyone wants to come in, and you're going to have a lot of lawyers if you're not careful.
Okay, a great presentation. I like the visuals. I'm a product guy, selling products on television, so I right away focus on what is the difference between your cup and the ones that are on the market now with 6% plastic. So does the plastic give you some kind of protection from heat or seeping of the coffee into the paper, or so I'm concerned about the quality side of it, because obviously this is a better planet kind of a situation, but is the consumer going to like it better? So that's right away I focus on. How can this be equal to the existing products that are out there, if not better, in addition to being better for the planet? So, and I think somebody mentioned price, so that to me would also be important. People love to have a better planet, but they also don't necessarily want to pay more money to get there. So, so I think those are a couple of the quick things, and then the last thing was just IP and how do you protect it, I think, as others have mentioned here. But overall, pretty good presentation.
One more time, Smart Planet Technologies, everybody. So next, coming to the stage, we have Greg Shea, CEO of PDR Investments, LLC. PDR was formed to expand the Paula Deen family kitchen brand across the South. Welcome to the stage, Greg Shea. Give it up.
Good morning. How are you? Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Happy birthday, Mr. Forbes.
Thank you.
I brought with me a fine lady that has a message for you. Go ahead and roll the video, please.
As soon as the guests walk through the door, I want them to feel like we're kind of wrapping our arms around them and saying, hey, y'all, come on in.
Some of the best home-cooked food we've ever had, and it's just a great place to get away from the big city and come have a family dinner.
First thing you're going to get is hoe cakes, biscuits, and sweet potato butter that'll make your tongue want to slap your brains out, honey.
Some of the memories of going to Grandma and Grandpa's house, everything just reminds you of a good old home-cooked meal.
It's very important to me that Southern hospitality be very much alive and well.
Everyone's always so friendly when we come, and we can actually spend some time here and we don't feel like we're rushed in and out.
When you come to Paula Deen's Family Kitchen, it's going to be the next best thing to come into my kitchen and have me cook for you.
There she is, Paula Deen. What a great lady. What I'm bringing to you is the opportunity to invest with the expansion of the Paula Deen family restaurants. Does anybody here would anybody here like to have some equity in an iconic brand, one that has a proven, highly successful model, one that has a historical track record, one that can offer you very high returns? It's very financially rewarding with the exit strategy. You will earn a 7% coupon until all of your capital is returned, and you will also enjoy material tax benefits. If any of these things interest you, Paula Deen's Family Kitchen has a unique opportunity for you to come and enjoy with us. We have the ingredients for success, folks. We have the brand. Paula Deen has been around for 35 years. She has highly successful restaurants, social media icons, 6 million Facebook followers, just incredible. The leadership, $3 billion company. These guys are leaving. The company's name is Delaware North. They're leaving Delaware North because they are so convinced that we can build this brand astronomically. The next thing is location, 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 location. Our real estate team is phenomenal. These guys have built restaurants with Fogo de Chao, for example, 40 locations, not one failure. They pick the best locations in the country. So what are we going to do? We're actually going to, our current locations are 20,000 square feet. They average about $14.8 to $15 million a year in revenue. They're $10 million to build, however. So what we're going to do is reduce the size of those restaurants, and we're going to reduce them down to 12,000 square feet, but we're only going to lose 20% of the revenue generating space because we're getting rid of elevators, escalators, all these things that are in the restaurants right now. Our leadership experience is over 150 years. Again, these gentlemen are leaving Delaware North, a $3 billion company, to run. Rajat Shah, he's here today. Come by our booth, you can meet him. Matt King, he is also here today. Currently president, Patina Restaurant Group. He is a phenomenal gentleman with regards to his experience in restaurants. Michael Banks, another Delaware North gentleman. Kevin O'Connor, another gentleman, also ran Copeland's restaurant in New Orleans. Phenomenal people involved in this with vast experience. This is the Paula Deen Kitchen right now in existence today, operating in, oh, you see it over here, okay. Operating in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. This restaurant has been open for about 4 weeks. This restaurant is averaging $350,000 to $375,000 a week in revenue. You can be a part of that. So we have, in closing, the winning components for success. We have the brand. We have the leadership. We have the historical performance. The company will own 50% ownership in this endeavor, okay? And the company being Paula Deen Restaurant Investments. The projected return, 6 times your money. Initial restaurants, 7 restaurants, we'll have those open in 3.5 years. We already have the money raised for the first 2 restaurants. We're raising a total of $16 million. We have $3 million in the bank. We've got $4.5 million committed today, additional above that $3 million. And we invite you to come by our booth, talk to us, and we would love to have you participate in this great opportunity. Thank you very much.
Kevin?
All right. I have followed Paula Deen for many years on QVC. Now she's on Evine, so I know she's got a great brand. She's built a great product business. I live in Florida, so I frequent the Bob Evans and the Cracker Barrels of the world, which appear to be a little more focused on breakfast. So one of the things I assume, this is a breakfast, lunch, dinner, full, all the way across the board, 3 meals a day kind of business. What I would love to know more about is it skewed heavier towards the dinner time, or is it, is breakfast and lunch powerful parts of the business also? Just one other comment I would make. In today's world, there's been a lot of discussion lately, the Blue Aprons that have been going public and Amazon getting into that business, people eating at home, preparing at home their own meals. Maybe there's a component here in the mix that could be a home delivery of prepared meals that people could fix and finish off at home also as an additional revenue center. Just thinking out loud for you. Those are my comments.
Yeah, I didn't have breakfast this morning, so this is very appealing to me. And And given the whole nature of competition, I'd like to have a better feel. What kind of audience our customer base you think you're going to appeal to? People certainly in cities are not going out for lunch as much as they used to. The patterns are changing. So apropos of what Kevin said, I just would love to know how you're going to deal with this much changing environment, and why, other than her name, what you have there that is going to really make you a standout in an industry where you have a lot of competition.
Okay. Right.
So I am a founding partner in something called Celebrity Lifestyle Brands, as well as in a company called Star Branding. So we are pretty firm believers that stars can be brands. So I give you high marks on the brand, and clearly, I think whenever you're dealing with these personal brands, a lot has to do with emotion. I think the consumer, they often forget what you say. They may even forget what you do, but they never ever forget how you make them feel. And I think Paula has that ability to make everyone feel welcome. So again, strong scores on brand. Leadership also seems very competent, seems very much together. However, and Kevin, I'm not exactly sure how you do that Shark Tank thing. There's a lot of information here. I thought I caught that it's $10 million to do a build. And I was wondering, just in that context, if you're looking to ramp, what is the advantage of keeping everything in-house, very capital intensive, versus considering, a licensing or franchising model, which would allow for much more rapid expansion, and you have the brand to do it? Thank you.
Michael.
From a personal perspective, for me, the slides, I just want to point out, I think there's too much information, the fonts were too small, so I would encourage you to think about maybe putting less and expanding the size of what people are reading. From the market, when you first opened it up, it would have been nice to see where you were going when you begin to describe it. It came back at the end, so I got it then, but I would like to have seen it more up front. I think that the downsizing could be more positively delivered, going from the 22,000 to the 12,000. And also, I'm like Bernd, maybe the possibility of sale leasebacks where other people are funding the real estate and you're just rolling across the country because you don't need nearly as much money. Paula, knowing the brand, great story, great brand, but recently she has come out and taken a whole twist on healthy eating, and I think it would have been interesting to really focus not only on her brand but her story of how she has turned around in the last year or so and changed all of us recipes and changed the approach to the restaurant, because I think that's the direction America is going with regards to healthy eating. And then lastly, on the investment structure, when you first brought it out and you talked about the 7% and until you got your money back, later you got into some other nuances. It just seems like whenever you decide to put the investment on the table, maybe go through it all, and maybe more clarity would be more helpful for a person, because that's the point when they're trying to decide, do I want to cut a check, so what's in it for me? And it was piecemeal, so maybe pulling it all together would have been helpful.
And I don't have very many comments because everyone covered them all. I do really like the idea of video. I think video sells, and I think obviously if you got a brand like Paula Deen, you have to show that. I do also agree on the slides. You're better have to have one or two sentences on a slide and flip through the slides, keep things moving. And again, I'm going to come back to you. I know the management team you pointed out. I want to hear a little bit more intricacies of their accomplishments and what they're going to do and how they're going to protect my money. Right? The management's job is to not only make us a return on our investment, but I want them to protect my money. So you have all the assets there to do that with your history and what you're doing, but to focus a little bit more on the management, how they're doing it. And then again, for me, it's the clarity, like Michael said, and the sequence. I think some of your stuff was out of sequence, and it would flow a little bit better to get the clarity for the investment pitch. So thank you very much.
Thank y'all. One more time for Greg Shea and PBR Investments, everybody. Great job. Quick comment. I think I may be kin to Paula Deen. My granny used to say food was so good it'd make you want to fight Santa Claus. So, Paula, I think we might be kin. So next up is Revive Solutions, bringing you the next generation in life life-saving technology. Join me and welcome to the stage Revive Solutions.
This is Cody. He was 6'9", 289 pounds, headed to college on a football scholarship. But just 3 weeks shy of his high school graduation, sudden cardiac arrest, when the heart suddenly stops beating, took his life. Cody is not a unique situation. In fact, sudden cardiac arrest is the leading cause of death among individuals over 40. It kills over 300,000 people per year in the US alone. It kills a student athlete every 3 days. The only effective treatment is the use of CPR coupled with an automated external defibrillator, or AED, which shocks the heart to restart it. Every minute you spend waiting for an AED reduces your survival chances by 10%. Now there's a few problems with current AEDs. They're large and bulky, designed to be mounted on a wall. You see them in large airports, you see them in large office buildings, but you don't see them on the athletic fields or in the homes where they really should be. Second, over 90% of the time when there's an AED available during an incident, it's not used because bystanders are too intimidated by it. Finally, they're expensive. They cost $1,200 and up, and the additional $200 every couple of years in order to replace the batteries. Our solution, Revive, is a smartphone-powered AED. It's the size and shape of a water bottle, under 2 pounds, and only 8 inches in length. The compact, lightweight design allows it to be carried anywhere, be it in the soccer bag, a soccer coach's bag, or the glove box of your car. All you have to do to use it is plug your smartphone into the device, at which point Revive begins charging from the phone, and the Revive app is automatically launched, guiding the user through the process of using an AED through audio and visual cues. Finally, we're able to sell the product for $350 to $400, making it highly accessible. Our working prototype is able to deliver shocks at the same energy and same frequency as current AEDs, all while using under 2% of the phone battery per shock. We have a provisional patent on our device. Now, my name is Rory Byer, and myself, along with Mosey Andrews, are mechanical and electrical engineers from MIT. Samir Jaffrey, our third co-founder from UCLA, has started what has become one of the largest foundations dedicated to preventing sudden cardiac arrest death in youth. With our strong regulatory advisory board, including Megan Moynihan, former FDA chief who oversaw defibrillator approvals, we have a strong regulatory pathway ahead of us. The first version of the product will come bundled with an FDA-approved smartphone whose sole functionality is to control Revive in order to reduce the uncertainty and risk associated with our first FDA approval.
Now, current AEDs are designed and sold to a limited number of industries, such as airports and large public buildings. Revive massively expands the AED industry to markets that are worth over $59 billion. And unlike current AEDs, Revive is a solution for both consumers and enterprise markets. More specifically, ones that don't have AEDs but need them, such as law enforcement, youth sports, schools, and many more. Revive's initial target markets are those consumers that are at the highest risk, so ages 55 and up, and those with a cardiac condition. We'll be reaching those niches by working with a group called the Sightline Group, who have previously successfully launched numerous health tech products, most notably Fitbit. And with Sightline, we project that our first year of revenue will be over $4 million, and our break-even point will just be 16 months post-revenue generation. Now, the AED industry simply hasn't innovated over the last 25 years. And the best example of that is the Heartstream AED right there, which was the first ever portable AED built in the 90s. A few years later, it was sold to Philips, and as you can see, it's essentially the exact same product as the 2017 Philips AED. Regarding our timeline, we're utilizing a streamlined FDA approval pathway and expect to achieve the point of commercialization at the end of 3 years in both the US and Japan. And now we're raising $1.5 million via convertible note at a $7 million valuation cap, and have already closed $400,000 of that in just 30 days from industry leaders. Now, we know that we can build a profitable business here that transforms the AED industry. But this product isn't just about making money. It's about saving lives. And I personally know hundreds and hundreds of families that have lost a loved one to sudden cardiac arrest, and more often than not, an AED wasn't immediately accessible to save that person's life. Millions of people youth, parents, grandparents, even my uncle pass away from sudden cardiac arrest every single year. Now, a few days before Cody Stevens passed away, he told his dad, "Dad, you either go big or you go home. That's how I'm going to live my life." I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that Revive is going to go big, and we're going to solve this problem. And I hope that you'll join us. Thank you.
Wow, great job, guys. Give it up for Revive Solutions.
I'll go ahead. First of all, the problem was well described. I think the future market opportunity for growth was well done, good job. On the time to break even, I think you could have broken that out in a little more detail with a little more clarity of how you're really going to accomplish that, because later when you got to the FDA approval process, then my mind floated back to the not being totally clear when and how that timeline was going to occur. And on the investment ask, I think the way you presented it in the slide and the information given was well explained.
So, loved the impact of the beginning of a presentation. You got my attention immediately. So highly effective. I always believe that nothing sells products as well as products, and your product saves lives. So again, very high marks for the problem that you're solving. It clearly looks like you have created the better mousetrap. When it comes to, though, what happens next, kind of the path to profitability, I'm a little less clear, and I would have wished that I could understand it better. I'm not 100% clear if you have patented technology that is exclusionary to competition, and I'm not necessarily clear on approval process and how long it will take to get to market. So I would probably spend a little more time on that, because I recently read that vision without execution is hallucination. We don't want that for you. But overall, really very impressive. Thank you.
Having reached the age where this is very relevant, this becomes very personal. And I think first what you underscore is, with the third whole party payer system we have in healthcare, no surprise Philips has made no real progress in 20 years. There just isn't the consumer market for it. Having that affordability in an age where people are accustomed to handhelds, I can tell you everyone's going to want this handy, especially above a certain age. So you did that very well. Just taking what Bernd said, laying out more how you get there and what protections you have from others who might want to poach on it, I'd have loved to have learned more about it. But given what's happening in the whole healthcare debate, you're an example, I think, of what we're going to see more of. Not this 20 years of hardly any incremental change, but the kind of rapid change you see in high tech and electronics as a matter of course. So you're going to get off to, I think, to a good start, but don't be surprised. Everyone else is going to jump in on it, and that's where I'd like to have a little more comfort that you will be able to start and stay ahead of the pack and not just be a pioneer and others pick up the pieces.
Okay. A few years ago when I had my 50th, my wife got me a defibrillator for my birthday. So I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? Okay. So I definitely know the market. I have never had to use it, fortunately. But it's a Philips unit, by the way, just like the one I saw down there. So I was very impressed with the advisory board that you guys put together. One of the things I really stress in putting an entrepreneurial pitch together in a team and raising capital is by surrounding yourself with experts, people that have been there, also people that have had an exit strategy, because get in at the early time and have a way to sell the vehicle at some point down the road. So I think that was impressive. I think that probably the biggest downside I see, and I've kind of been mentioned here, it looked like you're projecting about 3 years before this is going to be commercialized. So typically, in my world of investing, I'd like to put money up today and see something happening in a year to 18 months. 3 years is just a little bit outside of my kind of feel-good mode, but others I know look for longer term. And in the medical world, obviously, these things take time. But my only concern would be what happens if you don't get the approvals that you need and things like that. So,
all right.
Overall, thank you very much.
I got one quick comment.
All right, one more time.
I got one quick comment. Next time, show what's out there. Show the picture of what's going on. Right. So you said it's in airports. It's there. I don't know what it looks like. I want to see the comparison. But we got to keep rolling. Thank you.
All right, we're up against it. One more time for Rive Solutions. Thank y'all. All right, our fifth and final presenter. Our next speaker is Sandro Piancone. He is the CEO of VidBox Mexico. Sandro is what one might call a serial entrepreneur. Sandro has introduced a number of U.S. brands to Mexico and helped to build them to multi-million-dollar brands in the country. Present clients include Little Caesars Pizza, Dunkin' Donuts, Firehouse Subs, making Mr. Forbes hungry again. Sandro is also an Amazon best-selling author of 3 books. He is known as a Mexpert, which is a real word because he trademarked it. Give it up for Sandro. Thank you, brother.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sandro Piancone. I'm a returning participant. Last year, these guys killed me because they all said they didn't have a DVD player. So I took it upon myself to bring a DVD player for you and a gift certificate for Redbox so you can check it out and see how cool it is. So my friend is bringing it up for you. What we are bringing the experience of Redbox to Mexico. We're an automated kiosk, entertainment kiosk that rents new movies that you can't get anywhere. You can't get on Netflix, Hulu, you can't get on Amazon Prime. We also rent the newest video games, and soon we'll be able to sell lottery tickets and gift cards from our machine. So, who is this for? This isn't for you guys, this is for your employees. People that are on minimum wage, fixed income, that don't want to spend $6 to download a movie, they can rent a movie for $1. It's also for 90% of the households. So 20 million households in Mexico have a DVD player. So 90% have that DVD player. People who don't want to spend the normal 45 pesos or 60 pesos to rent a movie or download it, and it's for the people that don't want to spend $100 for a video game, and then they bring it home and they don't like it. So here they can rent it. So who here thought the DVD was dead?
Tell the judges to leave the stage.
I see a lot of hands going up. Me too. And I was so wrong when I started doing the research. So Redbox sells over $2 billion a year. And to this day, they're still rolling out new machines. They're rolling out 1,500 machines this year in the United States. Netflix, that little red envelope, how they started, that business is still in business today. Does $800 million a year in revenue with $300 million a year in profit. And they just recently started a new campaign on Facebook, nationwide campaign. For those of you from the Midwest, there's a chain called Family Video. Did over $400 million with 800 locations. Still growing. So anyone here get the tip before Redbox went public or Netflix? Maybe these gentlemen up here got the tip, but do you know who this gentleman is? His name is Mitch Lowe. He was the co-founder of Netflix and the president of Redbox from 6 to 35,000 machines. He leads the Dream Management Team, the Experience Management Team, with myself and my partner John as co-CEOs. Ricardo Vega was the ex-CEO of Blockbuster de Mexico. 18 years there, and Brian Rady, who was employee number 3 at Redbox and their CFO. They're part of our Dream Management Team. Those of you who don't know the success of Redbox, it was created by McDonald's as a way to bring more traffic. Today, Redbox has over 44,000 locations. Redbox is doing over $2 billion a year and still growing. What are our opportunities? We're the first to market. We rent a movie for 15 pesos, which is a third of the price of the competition. We already have national contracts with all the chains like Walmart, 7-Eleven, Soriana. We already own the 4,000 kiosks that our business plan calls for, and our barrier to entry, if someone wants to come behind us and compete, is $92 million. So what we've done really well, we have a website and an app. So if you want to reserve a movie, you type in your zip code, it tells you where the closest machine is, at what location, which we have the best real estate in Mexico because we're in Walmart's and Soriana. You reserve it, and then with the code you go pick that movie or DVD up or video game. A little bit about the market in Mexico, over 122 million people, 92% of the households have a DVD player. So 20 million households have a DVD player, 70% of the adults have a credit or debit card. Content, people ask a lot of time. We buy the movies already in Mexico. We have direct agreements with all the major movie studios. Our competition, thousands of mom and pop stores, Netflix, streaming on demand, and pirated content. Most important, and non-compete with Redbox. Last year when I was here, we had 100 locations in 2 cities. We're at 400 locations in 13 cities. We have 3,600 more to go. What does the company look like in 5 years? We're a $100 million a year company with 30 million in EBITDA. Can we execute? We have, our other companies have over 500 employees. We took a company from 0 to 200 million in revenue. We have offices and warehouses throughout Mexico. We're an import company, distribution, marketing. We have it all. Exit strategy, people want to know all the time. Either a potential acquisition or to take the company public or both. 3 months ago, Apollo bought Redbox for $1.6 billion. And a little bit about the raise. The offering, we have a $2.5 million offering. They're 3-year convertible notes that pay 10% interest with 100% warrant coverage. We have 100 units at a minimum of $25,000. We've already raised $5.8 million with friends and family. So if you'd like more information, come visit me at the pitch tank across the hall or go to my website, vidboxmexico.com. Thank you very much.
One more time for Vidbox. Thank you. So we got a hard stop in 5 minutes, so no Q, no A, go deliberate and be back to make your announcement if you can in less than 5 minutes. Cool, thank y'all. We're up against it. We got a hard stop in 5 minutes, so appreciate it, Sandro. Hey, that's the part of going last and having been here last year. So we do, in the few moments that we have, a couple minutes while they deliberate and come out and give us a decision, I do have a guest speaker for you. It's my privilege to bring to this stage Lou Elwell. He is the co-founder and CEO of Bio Soil Enhancers, manufacturers of Sumagrow products, and last year's Pitch Tank winner. Give it up for Lou! Hey, there he is.
Good morning, Freedom Festers. Thanks for having me back. Last year, I told you that agriculture is broken because of our heavy reliance on synthetic chemical fertilizers, and that we need to get back the way Mother Nature intended, using biology. Our product is all naturally occurring, non-GMO microbes that increase crop yields 10 to 20+% while cutting fertilizer in half. There's some pictures, same farmers, same crop, same everything except adding Sumagrow and reducing fertilizer. As you can see the quote there, I truly am amazed at the product. It's not just pretty pictures. We've had trials in over 40 countries. Dozens and dozens of credible third parties have validated our results. The growth continues. In the past year, we've opened up a number of new countries, most significantly China, where we're working with the world's largest fertilizer company. The minimum commitment has increased our sales by over 50%, and we are solidly profitable now. But we have also done something slightly different. We have spun off a unique product into a different company that we are raising funds for. It's spelled URB, pronounced herb, and has the tagline, Grow Higher. The PR campaign is based around the phrase, kiss my grass, it's organic. If you haven't guessed yet, yes, I'm talking about marijuana. And here's some pictures of the grower standard versus our product. Growers compared to what they do with ours. You can see significantly enhanced growth. A couple of other pictures there. Basic business plan is selling nutrients to marijuana growers. We're a picks and shovel play without touching the product. But the real business plan is that growers will willingly pay herb a percentage of their revenues on all of their sales. I don't have time to give you all the details. Stop by the pitch tank room and we'll give it to you. $1,200 minimum investment, going public soon. Come grow higher with us. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming. This is all the time we got. This is the moment we've waited for. Tell us who the winner is.
It was tough, but eventually we reached a unanimous decision. That decision was based on the overall presentation, the clarity, the delivery, the slides, the clarity on the slides, the numbers in the presentation. It was Revive.
Revive. Revive. Come on up.
I do have an award for Revive.
Shake their
Here we
hands,
go.
accept
Go
your
ahead.
reward.
Stage, get a photo op. Go
And
up
let's
stage.
come around
We got to
and
get off
shake
stage. We
everybody's
want to be on
hand, get a
time. We want to
picture,
say
let's
thank
roll.
you. We do have a breakout. If you like this type of stuff and you would like to be involved with what we do, we have a breakout today at 2:30 with Kevin and myself. We have a lunch today. We'll be talking about the Mastermind Investment Club and how you can be involved with us and Angel Investors Network and help us perpetuate capitalism, invest in these entrepreneurs, create jobs, and make things happen.